Many of us may have thought about starting your own business, at least once. And the first question that most people face is, where to start? What is the plan? So let's figure out what a business plan is. A business plan is a document that defines the goals of your business and describes how to achieve them. We will describe in detail to you all the stages of drawing up a business plan that will definitely help you open a successful business. A well-thought-out business plan is the key to success for any entrepreneur, no matter what goals he sets for himself, from attracting investments to developing a strategic growth plan for the company. The business plan contains 1. Information about the company initiator of the project. 2. Description of the products, goods sold and services rendered. 3. Analysis of the main sales markets. 4. Economic calculations of doing business. Additionally, this document may include appendices that detail the calculations and confirm the data. For example, various graphs, details of the income and expense report, cash flow, photos of objects, and marketing research results are added to applications. All this can be added to the main part of the business plan. But you shouldn't add too much, as it will turn out to be too big and it will be difficult to focus on the main things. Why do you need a business plan? The right approach is to develop a business plan before starting any new project. However, not all entrepreneurs see the need for this. Many of them believe that there is a changeable and unstable environment in this field of activity, and therefore it is pointless to make a plan. Someone neglects the plan because they are too lazy to calculate every step, and it is easier to trust their intuition. Some people simply believe so much in their entrepreneurial gift and has confidence in a business idea, and therefore there is no point in boring calculations. In our opinion, this is a great mistake. If you act without a plan, preliminary study of the project, then the risk of losing money and even burnout increases. Usually entrepreneurs order business plans to attract external financing. For example, this document is needed if you need to 1. Take a loan in a bank. 2. Receive state grants and subsidies. 3. Enable a potential investor to decide whether to invest in the project. The main types of business plans. There are 5 main types of business plans. Internal, that you make for yourself, for investors, for obtaining a bank loan or state support, and anti-crisis. A. Drawing up a business plan for yourself. Such plans are intended exclusively for internal use, so they are usually drawn up in any form. The main purpose of the work is to understand and assess the prospects and risks of the project. B. Preparation of a business plan for investors. The purpose of the compilation is to attract external financing for the implementation of the project. Foreign investors, as a rule, require the business plan, designed according to the international standards of UNIDO. Domestic investors are rarely asked to use any specific standards. The main thing for them is to understand and appreciate 1. The volume of investments. 2. The essence of business. 3. Competitive advantages of the project, due to which it can get success. 4. Payback period and return of invested money. 5. Profitability. C. Business plans for lending in banks. It is better to clarify the form of the document and the requirements for the business plan with a credit consultant, because methodological recommendations differ in different banks. If you are preparing a business plan to apply to several creditors at once, then focus on the international standards of UNIDO. Most banking requirements are based on these standards, so it will be the most universal document. And if necessary, you can convert it relatively easily to the requirements of a particular lender. We advise you not to hurry and to tune in to long-term work. Most likely, the business plan will have to be adjusted more than once. Consideration of credit transactions is often delayed, and conditions change along the way. It is necessary to adjust the timing of the project, the cost of equipment and raw materials, selling prices, loan parameters, and other indicators. D. Business plans for obtaining state support. There are many government programs to support small businesses. For example, for agricultural producers, startup entrepreneurs, and unemployed citizens who want to start their own business. As a rule, to receive subsidies, you need to provide a business plan. The requirements for it should be checked in the documentation for a specific state support program. Moreover, it is important to take into account each requirement. If you provide an incorrect business plan, then the application for participation in the competition will be rejected. E. Anti-crisis business plans. They are developed for enterprises in a difficult financial condition, pre-bankruptcy or bankrupt. The main goal is to explain to creditors how the company is going to get out of the crisis, to offer options for resolving disputes in pre-trial. The most known business planning standards. There are international business planning standards, one of the most popular is UNIDO. But there are other standards, for example, from the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, the international auditing company KPMG. We will tell you in detail about the UNIDO standards and briefly about the rest. The UNIDO standards business plan includes the following sections: 1. Summary. 2. Description of the industry and company. 3. Description of services or goods. 4. Sales and marketing. 5. Production plan. 6. Organizational plan. 7. Financial plan. 8. Evaluation of the effectiveness of the project. 9. Guarantees and risks of the company. 10. Applications. The summary is needed to briefly convey the most important information about the project. For example, you bring a business plan to a very busy investor. He opens the document at the very beginning, reads the summary in a few minutes and already roughly understands the essence and prospects of the project, sources of financing, necessary investments and launch dates. The following sections simply reveal the information from the summary in more detail. Next, you need to describe in detail the company that organizes the project. This description includes information about the industry, the company's assets, the management system and the number of employees. In the description of services and goods, it is necessary to tell about the products and opportunities that the company offers. If the company produces different products, then you should describe each type. Also, for clarity, it is worth attaching photos. This is followed by a section about sales and marketing, which contains 1. Characteristics and segmentation of the sales market. 2. Indication of the priority market segments that need to be occupied. 3. Analysis of competitors with indication of strengths and weaknesses. 4. Analysis of potential buyers or customers. In the section with the production plan, you need to make an analysis of the production process with a description. 1. Equipment and premises that are necessary for production. 2. Production technologies. 3. The geographical location of the enterprise and its logistics links with the main suppliers and consumers. Additionally, the production plan may contain a complete calculation of the cost of production, indicating fixed and variable costs, as well as information about the workers are needed and their qualifications. In the section with the organizational plan, the terms of the project implementation, the management structure, the composition and qualifications of the management are prescribed. The next section is the financial plan. It contains financial calculations, revenue forecast and cost of sales of products. Here it is necessary to give 1. Information about the financing that needed. 2. Cost estimates for the implementation of the project. 3. Information about the sources and conditions of attracting and returning money. 4. Forecast calculation of the profit and loss statement. Next, you need to evaluate the effectiveness of the project. In this section you should specify 1. Profitability. 2. Payback period. 3. Net income. 4. The break-even point, that is, when the business goes to zero. An important section is the company's guarantees and risks. Here you can write information about the company guarantees and the return of the attracted financing. It is also worth describing in detail the risks that can affect the implementation of the project. And the last section is applications, where they place information that is not included in other sections. For example, it can be bulky graphs, tables, sketches, diagrams, drawings and photographs. A business plan according to the EBRD standard. The European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, EBRD, has created its own standard for entrepreneurs who want to get a loan for a project. The minimum loan amount in the EBRD starts from 5 million euros, so these requirements are relevant only for large and medium-sized businesses. A business plan according to the TACHI standard. TACHI is a program of the European Union that helps market reforms in the CIS. Within the framework of this program, business planning standards have been developed, which in their structure and content are similar to the requirements of UNIDO. 4 basic rules for drawing up a business plan. 1. Be brief. There are 2 reasons for this requirement. Your business plan should be short and informative enough that the reader has a desire to read it in full. Who wants to waste time on a document that has 40, and sometimes all 100 pages? Being a tool that promotes business growth and development, the business plan should change along with your company. A voluminous document is more difficult to work with, which means that too long a business plan is likely to be covered with dust on the shelf. 2. Study your audience. Write a business plan in a language that will be understandable to your target audience. For example, if your company works in the field of science, and your potential investors do not understand complex terminology, you must adapt to the needs of your investors. Describe your product as simply as possible and avoid complicated terms. It is better to put more detailed information in the applications. 3. Don't be afraid. Most entrepreneurs are not experts in the field of doing business. They have no special education, and they have to learn along the way. Drawing up a business plan may seem like an impossible task, but it is not. If you know and love what you want to do, it will not be difficult for you to write a good business plan and adjust it as your project develops. Moreover, it is not necessary to immediately create a full-fledged, detailed business plan. It is better to start with a simple 1-page business plan and draw up a more detailed document based on it. 4. Look at an example of your competitor's business plan in the market. Before writing a business plan, it is better to look at a sample business plan of a company in its industry. By studying competitors, you will be able to understand how a business plan should look like, how to make calculations correctly, industry specifics. You can search for examples in the internet. Just type in the search bar, for example, coffee shop business plan, or barbershop business plan. Based on our recommendations and a detailed description of the requirements of the UNIDO International Standard, or any other, because they are similar in content, try to write your own business plan. Don't be afraid to take a chance. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel.